Hello children, SN Valdez here again with another video. I'm actually recording this after I already drew everything because my audio wasn't working for some reason. My microphone stopped working. But anyway, so welcome to this how to draw video. We're doing the Pokemon 3 movie today. And I'm drawing Entei right now, as you can see in the video there. And I found out that Entei is actually voiced by Dan Green when I was rewatching the movie. So when I was younger, I remember watching this movie, but I didn't really remember much. And I saw it was on Amazon Prime, and so that's why I decided, oh, hey, why don't I watch the Pokemon 3 movie? And so I did. And I didn't recognize most of the movie. It didn't feel particularly different, you know? It just felt like, well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's what we needed, right? I just needed to go back and remember a few things about it. I actually remember the Pokemon movie with Mewtwo the best, and I really enjoyed that movie. I also enjoyed the Celebi movie, although I don't remember what the movie was called. But for this movie, all I really remembered was it had something to do with the unknown and Entei, right? So in this movie, essentially the plot is a girl named Molly. She's severely neglected by her parents. She's not abused or anything, but her parents seem to always be away, so she's really lonely. And her dad, and I thought this was also funny. Her dad is a researcher, and when he goes and like researches the unknown, it kind of looks like Egyptian ruins and there's like hieroglyphs and stuff, right? And it's very reminiscent of Yu-Gi-Oh, which is why maybe they decided to go with Dan Green since he already has experience with curses and like magic and all that, right? But what happens with their dad is he, I guess, wakes up the unknown or something, and he gets sucked into like their portal. And oh, right here, I was looking up Sean Connery because I was reading in the Amazon facts that they had actually just originally were gonna put Sean Connery as the as the role of Professor Mather's father in the English version, Professor Hale. And I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that. Like I was like, oh wow, Dan Green was a great choice, right? While I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, perfect, Yami Yugi all the way. But no, yeah, they actually were considering having Sean Connery voice Professor Hale in the English dub. But after the backlash fans got over the fourth wall jokes in the previous film, they decided against anything that might suck them out of the fictional world, including celebrity voices. And there were still a lot of fourth wall jokes even in this movie, mostly with Team Rocket. They like one of the jokes they make is like, "Oh, I hope we have a bigger role in the next movie" and stuff like that. But they don't really do anything. They're just sort of there, like like maybe the Pokemon team. They felt like, "Oh, we have to have Team Rocket, right?" So they sort of just shoehorn them in there, and it felt kind of weird to just have them there doing nothing. Essentially, all they do is like really hide, because they don't want to get hurt by all the chaos that's going on with the unknown and how the unknown are essentially these overpowered beings. They can do whatever they want, essentially. I didn't realize how powerful they were until I watched this movie, and they can literally create anything. Like anything Molly can dream of, they'll make it happen. And that's just because they decided to choose her as their, like, I guess, well of creativity. They could have chosen anyone. So imagine how dangerous it would be if somebody got a hold of these unknown. I think it'd be very dangerous, and scary if someone, who had not so great intentions had gotten a hold of it, had gotten their hands on it and everything. So I guess it was lucky that we had a small child be the hero. And well, I guess not the hero. Well, she kind of is like one of the heroes, Molly, in this movie. Although she's sort of also like part of the villain side because it's because of her that Ash's mom gets kidnapped by Entei here. Because her father, Professor Hale, actually gets sucked up into the, I guess, the world of the unknown, And when Molly is sad and she's like, "Oh, I wish like my papa was here or whatever," right? Entei appears and he has Dan Green's voice, like it's the same exact voice. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're Papa, aren't you?" And then Entei's like, "If that is what you wish," or whatever, and that's like his catchphrase throughout the movie. If she wants something, if she wants to be a Pokemon trainer, if she wants to be older, if she wants a mom, he just says, "If that is what you wish," and he goes off and he gets it done. That's exactly what he does when she says, Papa, I love you and everything, but I'm still kind of sad that mommy's not here. And so Entei's, I think he asked her, like, "Oh, do you want a mom or whatever?" And she's like, "Yes, please." And he's like, "If that is what you wish." And he goes, and everyone's already freaking out about Molly and the mansion, that she lives in with her father, I guess, because it's covered in all these crystals and stuff, and you can see in the image there on the right, like all these like crystallized like towers and stuff, and that's what it looks like, and it's terrifying because Ash, his mom, and Professor Oak, and like some other people, I guess, have known Molly since she was young, and Molly and Professor Hale and his wife, they all visited them in Pallet Town at some point when she was a little younger. And so they're worried about her. And then Entei comes out of nowhere and he literally just snatches Ash's mom. Like he grabs her and he says, "Okay, we're going now." And he like hypnotizes her or something so she doesn't put up too much of a fight. And then he takes her all the way back to the castle, and that's what gets, or I mean the mansion, and that's what gets Ash and like company, to go over there to try to save his mom. And they have to go through all like the crystal towers and the weird unknown reality that has been created. And it's interesting, that's for sure. Um, I don't have anything good or bad to say against this movie necessarily. It's not my favorite, and when I looked it up, apparently people really, really like it. I said this in my initial recording that didn't record my audio, but nostalgia is a powerful drug. I really think people were just really nostalgic about this movie, and it's fine. I don't think it's amazing or whatever. I think it's weird how Molly doesn't recognize that Ash's mom clearly isn't her mother. I mean, I guess from maybe a certain angle, she'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's totally my mom." But we don't even really know what happens to Molly's mom in the movie. She's just not there for some reason. And Molly so readily accepts like that Ash's mom is her mom. She's like, "Oh yeah, hi mama. Isn't it cool that we all get to live here with Papa?" And Ash's mom at some point like breaks out of her like hypnotized state that Entei put her in. And she's just like, "Papa?" And she looks over at Entei with like this questioning face. Like, I'm not sure that's your father, child, but all right. It's pretty funny. Or I thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, I thought that was very odd. That's probably the what really took me out of the movie the most was that that's so clearly not her mother. At least with the Entei being her dad, it was already sort of introduced the idea because Professor Hale, her father, reads her a storybook in the very beginning of the movie. And in that movie, it has an illustration of Entei. And then Papa says, like, "Oh, I'll protect you, Molly," or something. Or maybe not protect her, but he's like, "Oh, I'll be your Entei, Molly," essentially. And so when Molly cries because her dad's gone, she's like, "I wish Papa was back." I guess she imagines him as Entei, and that's why the unknown create like a dream Entei that acts as her father and fulfills whatever her desires are and whatnot. But yeah, oh, and another thing that was interesting about this movie, if you're familiar with the Pokemon movies and especially with Brock, the rock type gym leader, his antics with women are still there. He's very much unchanged despite being now available for free on Amazon Prime. I'm surprised they didn't like edit some of that stuff out because even some old like children's TV shows, Amazon Prime like basically forbids you from watching certain episodes of shows. Like they don't have certain episodes from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and even from SpongeBob. They have like banned episodes. Like the only way you can get your hands on, I think, some of those episodes that were banned from SpongeBob is by buying the DVD box sets. And yeah, I think it's pretty interesting, especially now. You wouldn't see Brock's, I guess you could say, antics in any of the current children's movies, and you probably never will see that, like, ever. And I also did notice, oh, right here, yeah, when I was asking what happened to Molly's mom, sometime before the events of the film, Molly's mother disappeared, supposedly because of Spencer's research. In the Japanese version, her absence was never directly explained, although guidebooks released with the movie revealed that she had been hospitalized before the events of the film. See, and that's something else I was thinking about. I'm like, okay, so your mother has been hospitalized, so you don't, we don't know for how long, and then that's the picture they show in the movie of Professor Oak, Ash, his mom, and then Professor Hale, Molly, and her mom. And clearly, Molly's mother looks nothing like Ash's mother, so I don't understand where that confusion came from. It seems very implausible to me. But I also have to remember, children can be derps. I mean, I myself can be a derp, right? And that's why maybe she was already chill with the literal like dream Entei becoming her father. She's probably like, "Oh, this looks like Ash's mom, but whatever, you're my mom now. I don't care." She's already okay with the idea of not having the exact replica, I guess you could say, of her parents with her. She just doesn't want to be lonely. And I think maybe it's that idea that resonated with so many kids, and that those kids are now adults, and that's why they remember this movie fondly, because Molly eventually is not alone. She becomes friends with Ash and everyone, and she moves on to have like a great life. Like at the end of the movie, her father comes back, her mom comes back, although that's still not explained where the heck her mom was, but she has her family back together at the end of the movie, and it's really heartwarming and touching. And here I'm just coloring in the Pokemon 3 logo, making sure that's nice and colored so it stands out. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. If it has made me wonder if I want to go back and rewatch the original Pokemon movies. I know Netflix remade, maybe okay, maybe it wasn't Netflix, but there was a remake of the Pokemon movie with Mewtwo, and I don't remember watching it, so maybe I want to go watch the original first and then go and check out the remake version of it. Because that's the movie I remember the best, was that one and the Celebi movie. I remember those two movies a lot. I also remember the Lucario movie, but I don't know if we really will ever get movies like that, like Japanese or even international kids movies anymore, because of how much the social dialogue surrounding certain topics has changed. So, like here in the States, I haven't seen like any international films get released, and I think I mean, international children's films. These Japanese movies, like Pokemon or like Yu-Gi-Oh, and it doesn't have to be that specifically, but we're not going to be really seeing that anymore because the children of that are currently kids now, they're getting most of their media from streaming services. They have Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu. These aren't really television blocks that are promoting like a TV series anymore that have movie tie-ins. It's more like, just the originals, right? So if you're watching Disney Plus, you're going to be seeing like all the Disney originals, and that's pretty much American. And then you're going to be, if you're on Netflix, the Netflix does a good job of trying to bring in more international movies, but I just don't think we're gonna be getting the same like humor and everything, especially concerning like those tropes with like Brock and women. You're not gonna be seeing that anymore in the current children's movies, and they probably are still being made in children's movies in Japan right now because Japan still subscribes to some of those tropes. You watch any modern anime, any anime that's come out within the last year, you're gonna see some of those like I guess sexual tropes concerning men and women in certain settings and everything, and that's just the way that they you do their media. but that's not necessarily how the rest of the world is doing it right now. And that I'm not saying that's good or bad or anything. I'm just pointing it out, and maybe that's why we're not seeing so many movies like that being brought over, or if they are, maybe they're being edited. You know, like I thought this Pokemon movie would have edited out the Brock parts where he's being attracted to women and whatnot. So yeah, I just think it's interesting how much things have changed. I did say in my original recording, I think it was around 2015, maybe 2013 to 2015, that we had that change like of cancel culture, and that became really strong, especially on Twitter and everything. Because this movie would not fly today, that's for sure. Not in the States, or at least. But yeah, this is the Pokemon 3 movie, How to Draw, you guys. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this commentary. I wish the original commentary had stayed, but it is what it is. All right. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.